Are you ready for automation and AI? And what should you have in place in the first place? My name's Jamie Claret, I'm from Autonomate, and in Questions from the Boardroom, I tackle the biggest questions that senior leaders are asking right now. So there's 4 key things that you need to know or need to have to ensure that you're ready for automation and AI. You can have all of them, but if you've got none of these, then I think you need to kind of take a few steps back and think about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So the very first thing is clear, repeatable processes. As I've seen a million times, there are many people who want to use AI and automation for things that just aren't repeatable. These might be one-off processes, these might be kind of edge cases of what happens. But really, to really gain the benefit, and definitely when you start, you want to be looking at those processes that happen again and again and again and again. Now, that could be at a department level, it could be at an individual level, but it's something that's repeatable. So that now, repeatable could mean once a month, it could mean once a week, it could mean every day, it could be multiple times during the day. And the more repeatable it is, the more benefit you're going to get when you start to use AI and automation to help you. Which brings us on to the standardization of processes. That's number 2. If a process is done slightly differently every single time, or it involves lots of stuff in someone's head, or maybe Dave does it a different way to the way that Sharon does it, it's not going to work very well. So really you want to have processes that are repeatable, well documented if possible. Now, many companies don't have well documented processes, they don't have standard operating procedures, and that's fine because they're growing businesses. But the more that you have, the more helpful it is to be able to start to understand, and for us to be able to document that process, or whoever is doing your automation and AI to document that process. We go into companies sometimes and they'll say, oh, we've recently been audited and we had to have documentation for that. So is that helpful? And they send us stuff and it's like gold because it gives us all the information that we need. We go into other clients and one person says the process is done this way, another person says the process is done that way, the owner says it's done in a completely different way. So that's really not very helpful. So you want to try and think of those processes and systems that are well documented. Number 3, buy in at all levels. So one of the biggest blockers and stallers for automation and AI is when senior leadership or management have agreed, they're excited, they want to go, they want to, come on, let's get moving. And then we arrange to have meetings with the what are called SMEs, subject matter experts, and it's the first time they've heard of it. So the message is not being conveyed from above. They're very busy. Everyone's very busy at work. So the last thing they want to now do is try and figure out what processes they're doing. You know, it drops right to the bottom of the priority list. Now, the problem with that is when we have a meeting with the senior leadership team, they'll say, what's going on? Are we moving? Why hasn't this been done yet? And we say, well, because lower down, they're not giving us the information we need. And it's not very nice. Really, you want to get everyone involved. At those first meetings, you want to get everyone involved from bottom to top who are going to be involved in the process. That is what leads to a really great kind of implementation. And then the last thing is data and systems. So we're not expecting our clients to know everything and anything about their specific IT systems, how they plug in together, whether they have APIs, whether they don't have APIs, if you have data warehouses, all this kind of stuff, which is pretty technical. We don't expect that at all. But if you have good people looking after your IT, whether that's internal or external, you have a good relationship. So it means that we can speak to them and there's no kind of friction between the different parties. That really helps when it comes to implementation. Again, one of the things that blocks these types of things and causes delays and problems and things like that is when we get sent down a kind of a rabbit warren of going to speak to this supplier, then they go and speak to us because we haven't got permission, so then you need to get permission and da-da-da-da-da. That's a pain for everyone involved, and then everyone just gets frustrated by the whole thing. So, once again, clear, repeatable processes, documented or very well understood systems and processes, buy-in at all levels and everyone being informed at all levels, and great data and systems. No company has all of this perfect, or yet we're yet to deal with one that has all of this done perfectly. But having some level of understanding of what's required helps the whole process as you move on. Thanks very much.